Dolby Atmos Binaural versus traditional stereo from stems. Can you hear the difference? Greetings, immersive friends! Welcome to the second part of our mini-series comparing a traditional stereo mix to different versions of Dolby Atmos mixes. Atmos from a stereo mix, that was part 1, and if you haven't watched that one yet, I'll put a link for it in the description below. Atmos from stems, which is today's topic, and Atmos from the multitrack. But before we start, if you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Pat from the Living Room Studios, and on this channel we'll be discussing the immersive audio world, and in particular that of Dolby Atmos for music. If you're a musician, band, music producer, record label, or just interested in recording, producing and releasing music for Dolby Atmos, and you find these videos useful, please join us by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It really helps us reach more people who might want to join us on our immersive audio journey. Today we're listening to Pyre by Visode. I'll put a link in the description below. First, I'll play the traditional stereo mix, then the Dolby Atmos binaural mix created from the stems. I have matched the levels so you won't fall into the louder is better trap. The artist provided us with 13 stems, but as you can see, we kinda added an extra one because we needed a snare reverb effect that we could not get from the drum stem. We also need to mention that we got the go-ahead to, in essence, create a different version of the mix, not just try to match the original. I will point out some of the differences, but please feel free to add more in the comments below. Okay, here we go. Remember to listen in headphones. This is binaural and will not work if you're listening on speakers. There are chapters in the description below, so you can easily skip back and forth between the different sections and compare. Listen to the distorted guitars in both mixes. Here's the stereo mix. And here's the Dolby Atmos binaural mix. In the Atmos mix, the distorted guitars sound wider, more defined, more powerful. Also listen to how the guitars are panned. In the stereo, where they are panned hard left and right, and in Atmos binaural, where they are panned in a way that spreads them across a wider sound field, making them sound both bigger and wider than the stereo mix. Listen to the drums. Listen to the parts where the kick hits together with the downbeat of the guitars. Here's the stereo mix. And here's the Dolby Atmos binaural mix. In the Atmos mix, there is more punch. Remember, this is an effect of the spatialization of the elements. We have not changed the actual sounds of the recorded instruments. Can you hear it? Okay, let's listen to another part. Notice the downbeat when the singer says no. There is a special effect in the background, an explosion of sorts. Here's the stereo mix. Listen now in Atmos Binaural. In the original stereo, it was very challenging to fit additional low end from the explosion special effect in the mix. It would choke. I know, because I mixed the original stereo version. In Atmos Binaural, though, the low end could be pushed, and it doesn't overwhelm the mix. You can hear the rumble from the explosion for a few bars, whereas in the stereo mix, it kind of dissipates fast and gets lost. It's all these spatial algorithms in the technology that basically split the water from your 2 cups to 10 cups, so you can just add more water without spilling any. And one more example. 4 elements to pay attention to here: the scream, the voices, the bell tower, and the ghost special effect. More Atmos-y stuff. Let's start with the scream. In the stereo version, it sounds nice and wide. Listen now in Atmos Binaural. In the Atmos Binaural, it sounds eerie, deeper, as if it's coming slowly from the back, like someone is screaming their head off running towards you while your head is turned away from them and you can't see them. But listen to the voices too, and their spatial relation to the scream. In the stereo version, they are close to your ears. Listen now in Atmos Binaural. In the Atmos, they are a bit further back and moving closer and closer to your ears while swirling around until they disappear in your head. Did you notice the bell tower at the back? Here's the stereo mix. Dark tower. And here's the Dolby Atmos Binaural mix. Dark tower. In the stereo mix, it is more prominent and maybe sounds a bit thinner. In the Atmos Binaural mix, it sounds darker and rounder with more weight. Also, try to notice the spatialization. Do you notice any difference between the 2 mixes? Where would you say the bell tower is located in the Atmos Binaural mix versus the stereo mix? Final element is the ghost effect. In the stereo mix, it sounds more 2-dimensional. In the Atmos Binaural, there is more front to back, top to bottom movement, like the ghost is moving over your head. You should hear this in speakers, by the way. Here's the stereo mix. Looming ghost. And here's the Dolby Atmos Binaural mix. Looming ghost. Remember that we have provided chapters below so you can easily go back and forth between the 2 versions on each example and compare. Please let us know in the comments below if you hear the differences we mentioned, or different ones, or none at all. stems provide so much more than just upmixing from a stereo file. Though that also requires effort, knowledge, and taste. You just can't slap an upmixing plugin on a stereo file and call it a day. Upmixing from stereo is only suggested when that is the only audio the artist or label has available. With stems, you can do so much more. Keep in mind that most musicians and labels send stereo stems for a format that was created primarily for placing mono elements in 3D space. The film lineage is unavoidable, of course. Spreading those stereo files in the space creates phantom centers that many times overlap and confuse the listener's brain and need to be dealt with by the engineer. There are times when the artist or label hears something in their head that might be very difficult to accomplish, if at all possible. In this mix, we created an extra snare stem because the snare in that section really needed some of its own splashy plate reverb. And that could not happen from the provided drum stem. No matter the challenges though, stems are wonderful to work with and a much better foundation for the engineer to provide a more immersive listening experience to the listener, and a more dynamic experience, since the Dolby spec requires audio not to be smashed to death like most popular stereo mixes are nowadays. Stay tuned for part 3, when we'll compare the traditional stereo mix to the Dolby Atmos Binaural, but this time from the multitrack. Meaning so much more leeway to place elements, well, objects as Dolby calls them, in the 3D space and get even more creative. If you have any questions on any of these, or if we can help you in your Dolby Atmos music journey, please reach out to us through our website at thelivingroomstudios.com. Thank you for watching. Till next time, stay immersive, my friends.